It's 7 o'clock, and I'd like to call the Nashville Town Council to order for our January the 4th meeting. Would you please stand for the pledge?
Whoops, which flag?
Oh, where is it? There we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Father, in this new year, we just ask you to lead us and guide us in making the decisions that will help Nashville become a better town for the citizens and a town in which to live. Amen. At this time, we'll look at our minutes that we have. Have you read those, and do you have any corrections to the minutes? First of all, the December 7th meeting minutes.
Corrections on page 7, where Mr. Taylor made the motion that we would approve option 2 for our schedule. The schedule should be included in the minutes, just like the schedule for the committees.
Any other corrections? If not, do I hear a motion to approve the minutes with that one correction?
Wait, that was, I'm sorry, December 7th?
Yes.
On page 19, I had just brought it to Sarah's attention earlier. The HOA documents should state that it's the individual homeowner's responsibility, and then the HOA's responsibility for cleaning the, and maintaining the drainage ditches.
Drainage ditch, okay. With those corrections, do I hear a motion to approve the minutes for the December 7th meeting?
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
It is now for time for public comment, and Patsy and Emily, you will speak later when we come to that issue on our agenda. But Steve Davis, would you please come and state your name and address and share your concern?
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Steve Davis. I'm a resident of Nashville, 36 years, 31 years on Lakeview Drive. And tonight I will try to initiate a contract for street maintenance repairs on Lakeview Drive. And if I would like to kind of read out to what I would like to see done, if possible. Okay. Number 1 would be pavement repair. Number 2 would be resurfacing. Number 3 would be street sign upgrade location. Children playing. It's a dead-end street, no outlets. They're really dated, out of place. Number 4, I've been here a long time, and the town used to sweep the street, even though we have no curb and gutter. It was kind of on a regular basis. Somebody used to do it, but honestly, in the past, I don't know, 5 years or so, the sweeping machine just never came up there. It would hit the other streets, but maybe because we don't have curb and gutter. But that would kind of keep the street clean from the runoff there, since we don't have curb and gutter. And I appreciate the LED lights on the street. They're nice. They're really good. They're for safety and all that. It would be nice to add one more light to the street. We'll eliminate it all the way from the end of the street to the dead end. That would be really nice. I sincerely appreciate your time this evening, and we would like to get on the list. I've talked to the other residents there, and they're on the consensus that this should happen. We would like to see this happen, along with the other improvements with the Nashville Business Center and the EMS Center right behind there. It would look good once you pass there. You look to Lakeview, and the street would be nice and upgraded. So I sincerely appreciate your time tonight. Thank you a lot.
And thank you for sharing. We'll get this to our town manager. Our town manager is not here tonight due to a relative being exposed to COVID, so that's
Steve,
why.
Steve, did you state your address?
606 Lakeview Drive.
Okay. Thank you.
And Steve Davis. Okay, thank you so much. The next item on our agenda is a presentation, so I would like to call Chief Puckett to the front.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Council. It's a privilege to be here to report good news. Criminal Justice Training and Standards Committee meet quarterly. Many of the things they go over, they're all law enforcement related, but one of the things they look at when they meet quarterly is applications for an advanced law enforcement certificate. What we want to do as a police department is provide better trained and better educated officers to the community. Well, we have two of which are here tonight that we want to present this advanced certificate to. The advanced certificate can only be achieved by somebody who has achieved an intermediate certificate. It is a huge accomplishment as a law enforcement officer to receive this. Some of the requirements that have to be met. One is you have to have 48 hours of education and or training points and 12 years of experience, and we're going to talk about the training points shortly. You have to have 60 hours of educational training points and 9 years of experience, or an associate's degree with 36 hours of training points and 9 years of experience. If you have a bachelor's degree, you have to have accumulated 24 training points with 6 years of experience, and a graduate degree the officer has to accumulate 16 training points and 4 years of experience. Now, these training points don't sound like a lot. However, the way this breaks down is an officer gets 1 training point per semester of education of college they've achieved. The officer gets 1 point for every 20 hours of training that they've attended. So, for example, a field training officer course is a 40-hour course. That's only 2 points. So these supervisors and this detective here, it's a great achievement for them to have been awarded this by Training and Standards. Why is this important? These employees have dedicated their lives to law enforcement. They have not only come to work on a daily basis and put forth the effort to be at work, they've gone above and beyond to achieve these points and this training, and they're going to be rewarded tonight with this advanced law enforcement certificate. This helps also the town, because the more officers that have an advanced certificate and intermediate certificate, the lower our insurance rates are. It also helps the citizens because we are showing that we are providing the best service that we can to the citizens. I am truly honored to call Lieutenant Boykin and Detective Bell up to award these certificates to them from Training and Standards, and I am truly proud of the work that they've done for this town and this agency. The first, in the order of rank, we're going to call Lieutenant Boykin up first. And as you can see, this certificate was signed by each member of the Criminal Justice Training and Standards Committee, and this is a huge accomplishment, and it just shows the dedication that Lieutenant Boykin has to this town and this police department. Detective Bell, the young buck in the crowd. Again, it's a huge accomplishment, and it's a tribute to his dedication to this police department in this town.
Thank you so much, and congratulations to each of you from the council. We appreciate you going on and getting as much training as possible, and we appreciate you serving the town of Nashville. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is the Nashville Junction parking lot. So look at the summary of that issue. It says, per October 5th, 2021, inducement agreement for the Nashville Junction between the town and Hurt LLC. The town is to construct an approximately 125 space public parking lot and green space audience area on the north half of the Nashville Junction property by, on, or around July the 30th, 2022. Construction of the public parking lot in green space audience area is anticipated to cost $275,000. North Carolina General Statute 133, 1.1 requires the town to use a licensed engineer for new construction projects expected to cost in the excess of $135,000. Attached is a $20,150 engineering contract from Stocks Engineering for the project. Also attached is resolution number 2022-01, which approves the engineering contract and exempts the town from the Minnie Brooks procurement process for the selection of Stocks Engineering to complete the project. Is there any discussion on this from the council?
I have one thing as the tree board representative. I just want to ensure that whatever design that they do, that it is for preservation of any existing healthy trees that are on the property, that if we could possibly work around it, the more we could save, the better.
Okay, I agree.
Is the 20,000 included in the 275?
Supposed to be.
I think it is.
Supposed to be.
I think he said it was last time, didn't he?
It is.
I think,
I just wanted
Yeah.
to reiterate that.
yeah, well, that's good. Do I hear a motion that we approve this resolution 2022-01?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is the Glover Park Wi-Fi Station interlocal agreement. So at this time, let's see, is it Julie? No, Emily and Patsy. So Emily, you want to go first?
All right, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Emily Moore, and I'm here on behalf of Nash County. And I have a short presentation that will just go over the overview of what the grant is, and then it has a couple of pictures to kind of give you an idea of what it is we're referring to. Okay. So Nash County was awarded $900,000 for the CDBG CV grant, which is the Community Development Block Grant Coronavirus. It's coming from NC Commerce, and it's to address the health and/or economic impact of COVID-19. Nash County is addressing the needs of low to moderate income residents through, we've looked at targeted 3 different items, and those are Wi-Fi zones, hand washing stations, and subsistence payments. There are 10 Wi-Fi zones and 9 hand washing stations located throughout the county. Okay. Okay, so they're located throughout the county in the LMI census blocks and LMI municipalities. The subsistence payments are for LMI verified residents, and NUCA, the Nash Edgecombe Wilson Community Action, is a subrecipient who's handling those subsistence payments. So with the Wi-Fi zones, that's what we're looking at for the town of Nashville. But in general, they were chosen, like I said, based on geographic LMI or low to moderate income locations identified as internet deserts. They're to improve access to education, help residents maintain or obtain gainful employment. It is a partnership with Cloudwise, and the grant will cover the cost of installation and Wi-Fi service for the duration of the grant. So you can ignore the 30 months up there. And the interlocal agreement that we have, it does specify the duration of the grant, so it doesn't have the 30 months or anything like that in there. And then finally, after the grant period is over, if the town of Nashville wants to extend the service, they can do that by purchasing through Cloudwise. Okay, so this has a picture so that you can kind of get an idea of what it'll look like. So like I said, Cloudwise will install, maintain, and provide internet for the duration of the grant. The towers will be roughly 4 feet tall, though the size may vary. The towers do need to be in a location with access to power, And as far as internet speed and coverage goes, Cloudwise is coming towards the end of this month to do site visits for each of the locations, and at that time, they'll be able to give us an idea of what they can provide speed-wise and coverage-wise. The potential location for the Wi-Fi tower that was chosen in Nashville is J.W. Glover Park. And then Cloudwise, they'll also be reaching out to each municipality to have a service contract and then some additional guidelines, but that'll be coming from Cloudwise after they do I believe after they've come to do the site visits. Are there any questions?
When did you say that site visit was going to happen?
January 20th off the top of my head, but it is towards the end of this month, but I believe it's the 20th if that's a Thursday.
So we have no idea what the range is yet of where
Yeah,
it would
that's what
cover.
we were wondering.
No. I mean, we have a map with like an approximate picture, but they don't, when we asked them for an estimate on the coverage and the speed, they said they could give us a much better estimate or would provide an estimate once they came for those site visits.
Okay. What does the map of the approximate show?
In the grant application, I'm trying to think of what it looks like. I mean, it covers most of, like where the concession stand is at Glover Park and the surrounding baseball fields. It's kind of a circular radius.
So really, it's just within the park.
Yes, yes.
So this is meant for people to come, like our church did this when schools were at home and people didn't have Wi-Fi, where they would come and be able to use the church's Wi-Fi. So that's essentially what it is. You're expecting people to be able to come use the internet at the park, whoever needs it.
That is correct.
Okay.
Any other questions for Emily?
That was my question.
As far as the duration of the grant, is there any potential that this is something that could exceed the original deadline? Like, is this something that they might consider to fund ongoing for internet deserts? No? Okay.
Not that we have heard of, no. It would be nice.
Do we know what the cost would be once the grant has expired?
$110 a month,
$110 a month?
$110 a month.
That was what Randy reached out to Cloudwise. So initially, they had said they could not really provide the estimate for all the different sites until they did those site visits. But since they're familiar with Nashville, from having worked in Nashville already, they did give us a rough estimate for Nashville.
Any more questions?
And I guess since the area of coverage, I guess, is within the park itself, I guess it would be up to us and Cloudwise if after the grant period is over with, we may choose to relocate that tower somewhere else to get residents a better benefit from it.
And I was thinking something along the same lines, like, would putting it like downtown make it easier? But at the same time, I feel like many more people could park at Glover, working out of their vehicle kind of thing, or be at the park at a picnic bench working.
Yeah, they could.
Where we don't have a whole lot of seating in downtown. But it's a possibility, right? I guess the installation cost would be on us if we wanted to move it somewhere else.
I guess it's a wait and see thing right now, I guess.
Right. I like the idea of it happening for the next year and checking out how it helps our citizens, because I know parents were using hotspots on their phones. It was a nightmare, so this would definitely help.
Yes, we have a child in public school. It was difficult.
Okay.
Thank you, Emily. Patsy, you want to come up and talk to us?
I don't really have anything else to add. I'm working with Emily on this project. I will say that we have worked with, we have an agreement with the town and Cloudwise, and for maybe 2.5, 3 years now, we've been providing free public Wi-Fi at the environmental park as well. So that was in the initial phases, may go back 4 years, when we were testing how the services worked and everything. So it's been provided at that park for several years now for whoever's at the park and wants to use it.
Thank you for the reminder.
Yes.
I had completely forgotten about that.
Yeah, so let me ask you a question not related to this particular item. How much coverage has Cloudwise got within Nash County now? I mean, how saturated have they got throughout the county?
Well, we're in the process of implementing phase 3 of our agreement with Cloudwise, our public-private partnership.
Mhm.
And the infrastructure for that phase is really not up yet. So there's less than 200 customers right now, but once phase 3 is fully operational, that will increase significantly. And we've applied for additional funds from the federal government for some fiber, for a fiber loop. That's about a $15 million grant, so that would significantly improve their ability to serve additional areas. But we're
So-
moving through it. It's slow.
So is that 200 customers in a cluster, or is it throughout the
No.
county?
Throughout,
It is throughout.
yes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much, Patsy.
Yes.
We appreciate you writing all these good grants for the county, and we benefit
Sharing with
from
the
them.
town,
I
yes.
know. So you've heard from Patsy and Emily, so what is your desire to approve an interlocal agreement with Nash County for the installation and operation of a wildfire fire station at Glover Park?
I move that we go forward.
Second. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Okay, great, thanks. Motion carries. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Sean Lucas concerning the code enforcement, demolition.
Good evening, Mayor,
evening.
Town Board, Council members. Happy New Year to everyone I haven't spoken to this week. As you noticed, back on October the 19th, we had 3 homes that we voted to do the 60-day turnaround. Those were 102 Arrowwood Drive, 208 Vale Street, and 206 North Body Street. Out of those 3, we have 2 moving forward. 102 Arrowwood Drive, the grandmother and the family did reach out to the town and speak with me. They're in the process of starting renovation on that house. They already rented a dumpster and started cleaning out the materials from the fire damage and all that stuff. So we're going to give them some time to work with them on that to see where they can go. We're going to try to coach them along to help them get to getting it renovated and back to living standards. 208 Vale Street and 206 Body Street, as of today, they're still in the same condition as they were the last time in October. No work has been done. We did post a door, send letters out, first class and certified mail. No response as always. And I would like to petition to the Mayor and Town Council tonight that we recommend demolition authorization ordinance 2002-01 to begin the demolition process. We did send bids out in November on the 8th to 4 different contractors. 3 of the 4 did respond back with their bids, and we are ready to award the lowest bidder to start work on that as soon as we get the vote to move forward with it. The town attorney is in the process of checking all of the paperwork to make sure that we did follow everything before we send our crew out to start demoing. So we'll be speaking with the town attorney, Ryan King, for Fields and Cooper this week for his point of view, just to make sure everything is good on the legal side of it. And once that is complete and your authorization, we can call up Quality Ground Landscaping Maintenance and start the process of demoing.
What is the low bid?
The lowest bid for 208 Vale Street was $4,000. For 206 Body Street, North Body Street, that one came in at $15,900, and that is because he has to take down 3 buildings on that one parcel of land and grade it out. He has the home where the roof has collapsed in at, the shed behind the home, and then on the side of that lot, there's another building that was considered an older barbershop in the past that he's going to be taking down. And once he's done with all of that, of course, they're going to grade it out, level it, so if the town does end up taking the property, and we can resell it to build a home on to some family or sell it for a family to build on.
Sean, the owners of both of those properties, are they residents of Nashville?
No, sir. The owner of 206 Body Street is out of Philadelphia.
Okay.
We haven't been able to hear from her, and we've been sending mail to the last address on the tax card. The owner of 208 Vale Street, the old, I believe was a commercial building, church or something facility, we have been sending mail to the address of the property in Nashville coming back, and we also looked on the Secretary of State website. He has an address in Rocky Mount that we mailed to, and I personally drove over to Rocky Mount and folks taped a letter to the door of the apartment complex, telling them to please get in contact with the town about this building because we need to talk with you about trying to either get it up to code or tearing it down if you could voluntarily do it, and no response on that one.
And it said a final inspection was scheduled for yesterday,
Yes, it was.
and that occurred?
It did occur. Everything is still in conditions how it was in October when I brought it to you guys. The one on Bell Street, still pretty much in the same condition, windows missing, doors torn off, people going in it, using it for activities that are not considered legal probably. 206 North Body Street, that one I did get a warrant to go in, but after once again surveying the property, the way the roof is fell in the front and the rear of the building, I just didn't think it was safe enough for me to go in or either none the police officer or the fire department to come in with me.
When's the last time the tax has been paid on either one of these properties?
It has been a while. I think they haven't been paid in the past couple of years according to our tax collector.
Couple of that's in 2 years,
About 3-4 years.
3-4 years, okay. All right.
Do you have any more questions for Sean?
I was wondering, how much do we have budgeted for demolition?
We have over $45,000 budgeted right now. When doing the math this morning, the two properties that we're taking down this week that we voted back in the end of the summer, Circle Drive and 6th Street, we're doing a special test that left us around about $30,000. So we will have enough to cover these two, but probably we will have to put a hold on any more till the new fiscal budget year kicks in June, where we can either request for the same amount or request for a little bit more because we have a few more that we may need to tackle.
Did we start on Circle and 6th Street today?
We did. We had to do a little hold up on it. We found out that this power was still connected to the transformer, even though there was no power in the house. So we contacted Duke Power today. They're sending their service tech out to disconnect the power from the transformer to the house. Public Works over here will be going out tomorrow to make sure that the water is turned off and see the Rocky Mountain Gas Department verify that neither one of those houses have any type of natural gas going to them. So once this is completed tomorrow, SAC Enterprise Out can probably go ahead and get the screw over there to get going. They're just waiting on the green light from Duke Power to get started.
So it should be down by the end of the week.
Yes, sir, that's what we're looking for. We're going to start with 125 Circle because Al did say that would be an easier one to take down first, and that'll give him more time to focus on 6th Street on what he has to do.
I moved, we go forward.
Do I hear a second?
A second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
I just
All right.
had one last thing to add to Sean.
Yes, ma'am.
So for the 102 Arrowwood, the folks that are actually fixing up the house, I don't know if it's necessary, but it's PACE and Habitat for Humanity usually offer assistance with bringing houses back to habitable condition. So it might just be something that we have in our back pocket for people who do reach back out and say, yes, we want to fix up. Maybe they need some help doing so.
And you said that was Peace or Pace?
PACE, here, I'll send you, it's in our comprehensive plan, it actually gives a couple of options for areas that would help.
Okay, if
people
you can
get their
send that
houses
to
up.
me, I'll be glad to forward it to
Sure.
the grandmother and the daughter, and I think that'll help them get going on the way they need to go to getting it back up to living standards.
Sean, could
Yes,
you
ma'am.
shed some light on how we would recoup these funds that we're expending for demolition?
The way we will have to recoup it is with the ones right now that we pretty much have been deemed to take down, the two that we did in the end of the summer and the two that we're doing tonight. We probably won't end up making no money off of those because we can't, if we couldn't serve them to bring them up to code, either just come in to a hearing to talk to us. Now, as I tell you, there's no next to areas that will want to take on the damage that the town's going to send them for the bill. So we will probably keep billing them, drawing interest as we do with old water bills, how they draw interest. Once it gets to a certain time limit between 3 to 5 years, that's when the town can go in and take access of the property where we will gain the land. And then it'll be up to the town board of commissioners, the town manager, and the staff to determine if we want to keep the land and just keep grass cutting as we've been doing on Lumber Street, or if we would like to donate it to Habitat for them to build a house, or if we would like to sell it privately ourselves. But it's about a 3 to 5 year process it'll take before we can even start taking control of the land that we'll have to continue to keep building to say that we did build a case against them, saying that we did try to collect the fines from it.
In short, we'll never recover what our expense is gonna be.
But we need to really keep track of this because it gets expensive.
Yes, it does going down, especially with all the mailing and stuff like that, and having to constantly send out a bill every month, every other month, once a year, stuff like that. It starts, adding up fees and fines that we need to keep account of.
I think the goal is to never let the homes to get to this point.
Right.
We need to
Right.
start noticing people once we see grass growing and, a door in or whatever it may be.
I think
try
we're
to get
playing
them down here.
catch up.
Right.
Now, where if we get it in order we'll be we'll be proactive rather than reactive.
Yes, ma'am, that's the best way to be.
And hopefully with us taking down a few of these houses, that'll let the other people in town realize the seriousness of it, and they won't let it get to that point.
That's right.
Exactly.
Right, true.
All right, thank y'all very
Thank you,
much.
Great job,
Sean.
Sean.
All right.
Our next item on our agenda is our finance director, John O'Keefe. Good.
I just have two budget amendments. Budget Amendment 12, that's recognizing the revenue for a sponsorship and giving that money back in form of budget to Parks and Rec Department. That's Budget Amendment 12.
Okay, any questions about that?
Move to approve the budget amendment.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, next.
Budget Amendment 13, that is requesting $8,000 in appropriated fund balance. It's recognizing a $2,000 Ag Carolina grant, and it's moving $5,000 from Parks and Recreation budget into Nash County budget as well. I'm sorry, Nashville Junction budget, and then separating out the $30,000 that's currently in the Nashville Junction budget line item into their various budget line items. All that same department.
So we're adding 8,000 more to the Nashville Junction
Yes, sir.
from
Well,
Parks and Rec.
8,000 more from appropriated fund balance, 5,000 from Parks and Rec is being moved to Nashville Junction,
Okay.
and we got a $2,000 grant from Ag Carolina.
What is the 8,000 for?
It is for a it's for nothing specific. It's in general, the several things it's paying for are the part-time salary, professional service, FICA, phone, postage, internet, the utilities on the property, the lease on the property, advertising, supplies, contract services, insurance and bonds, workers' comp, computer, and equipment under 5,000.
Because we had originally said that the farmer's market was going to be 45, I think.
Correct.
And then we had only put a smaller amount in the budget,
Yes.
but then
30.
come
That's
to
right.
find out that starting later in the season really didn't save us anything.
Right.
Because we still have to start up an entire farmer's market.
Yeah.
So this all seems like it's in line.
Any questions for John? If not, do I hear a motion to approve this amendment number 13?
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Budget amendment is approved then. Thank you. Well, that's all that we had on our agenda, so council members, Kate, do you have anything you'd like to say?
I just, I think we lost, oh no, we still have one recipient back there. I just want to recognize Lieutenant Boykin and Detective Bell. I know that this requires a great deal of dedication, determination, and sacrifice to go after these certificates, and we're very proud of you, for your achievements and what you're doing for the town, so thank you.
Louise?
I agree wholeheartedly. Congratulations.
Lynn?
I would say ditto to that, and I want to thank you not only for all the work you're doing to continue your education, but for getting out there on the front lines for us. We know that it's not an easy job. We appreciate all that you and our fire departments and all that our staff do. We really do appreciate everything everyone is doing for the town.
Larry?
I echo those same sentiments, and I do a special thank you to Lieutenant Boykin. I had the pleasure of working on the same shift with him when both of us was with the sheriff's office, and I'm proud of him. Keep up the good work.
I would just like to say to all of you that are here and to the citizens that are watching that I'm believing in my heart this is going to be a great year for Nashville and for her citizens. Many good things are happening in Nashville. I'm sure you've heard about some new eateries that are coming. And we're also very blessed this year to have great department heads. I think last year this time, or a little before this time, we were looking for some department heads. And I think our department's heads are happy serving you, the citizens, and working with Nashville. And I'm very proud of our town manager also, because every day that I go up there, he's busy working on our behalf to make Nashville a better place. And I also feel very blessed that I have this council that loves the town, loves the citizens, and I love that each one of them has an area of expertise that will make me look good. For example, Kate with her law, and Louise has knowledge of things that have happened in Nashville and on this council for years that she helps us and brings back. An accountant here in, that we have over here to my right in Lynn, and then we have a former law enforcement officer. So I just feel like we're just so blessed to have such a great council.
And firemen.
And fireman, excuse me. He's got one more hat I didn't know about. But I just ask that you pray for our town every day, and that you pray for the safety of our police officers and our firemen, because this is a tough time, and we certainly do need prayer for protection for these people. And I also want to ask you, you received a survey in the mail from the Parks Department. This is to help us with, what is it called, Corey? The comprehensive plan for the recreation. And they need your input, and you can fill out this survey in no time. You don't even have to pay for a stamp. You can just put it in the box and mail it back. So please do that for our town of Nashville and our rec department. Again, thank you for all that you do as citizens, and again, I'm proud of the police officers that received the awards for putting forth that extra effort. And just have a good rest of the month until we're back and meet you again. So thanks again. Do I hear a motion that the meeting be adjourned? Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
All right.
Meeting is adjourned.